Thanks for staying up late and welcome to New Mexico Football Friday. It's one and done as the postseason continues to extend and end play for teams all over the state. On the show tonight, we are talking about all of our of the weeks, you know, from game to cheerleaders to player, everything. Spirit Stick Championship, we've crowned the winner, and Skylights, Bob Martin fired up Sky News 13 and took to the skies. First 6-8 quarters up. The Cueva Bears coming out on the field first, a 3 seed hosting a 6 in the Oñate Knights. First quarter action, we start with La Cueva getting a good run. Javon Jones making those chains move. The Bears like that because a couple of plays later, they're going to convert. Bo Kuya looking downfield. Bo, what you find? Guess who? Javon Jones in the end zone, 7-0, La Cueva. The fans are giving that the high five. Oh yeah, they're cheering. After the bump, oh yeah, on the sideline. Oñate, the ball, and then quarterback Fabian Reyes tucks and runs. Fabian, with a name like Fabian, he could probably sing too. Still in the first, Reyes hands off. Ryan Ariza in for the score. Game tied at 7 after the PAT. And Oñate, they've come to play. Knights with the ball again. Reyes this time to Marcus Montoya, and Montoya going to take it the rest of the way to the house for the 6. PAT made it 14-7 visitors, but the Bears will come back after a big second half to win it. 28-14 La Cueva, the final. Our game of the week is a battle between a defending champion and the #1 who started the night undefeated. Andrea Chester knows if Rio Rancho stayed that way, he has the game of the week.
Thanks, Van. And yep, I do have the game of the week. This week's edition comes to us from Rio Rancho. As Van just said, it's defending state champs versus the top team in New Mexico football. Let's get to the keys. All right, as we all know, Rio Rancho has already beat this Bulldog team once this year, 30-22, and that was in Rio Rancho. So let's see how the second take will be. The Bulldogs' run-heavy offense is going to have to penetrate this Rio Rancho defense. Cruces is averaging 184 yards per game, but the Ram D is only allowing 13.3 points per game, and they have 48 sacks on the year. Cruces is also going to have to score. They are averaging 35 points per game, but the Rams are averaging 45 per game, so it'll be a fireworks show. The Rams, on the other hand, are going to have to contain the playoff beast that is Las Cruces. This team is a different animal in the state tournament, and they are rolling after the 36-15 win over Atrisco. Other than that, the Rams just need to keep their head down and just keep moving forward. They are a great football team and have all the weapons to be state championship team. And yep, let's get to the game.
So go have the time of your life and have a ball and enjoy every second of it. But fly around and pop them and pop them and help them up and pop them again. Clear? Yes, sir.
Rio Rancho pump, but so are the Bulldogs, always coming out hot. But let's see, it would be the Rams getting the pace, setting the pace early. Bruere hands off to Angelo Luan. He gets a block, another, and turns on the Jets. Luan takes this one 50 yards to just inside the 10-yard line. And yep, that would lead to this. Bruere connects with Brady Patterson in the end zone. Rams take a 7-0 lead after the PAT. But the cheers wouldn't last long. Hand off to Junshiro Molinar, and this kid is huffing and puffing, just working his way for the first down. And yep, great field position for the Dogs. And here comes Corey Noel flying into the end zone. Dogs get on the board, but miss PAT. 7-6 would be the score. They would make it 9 with field goal, but the second out, Bruere wants to show off the gun, and it hits its mark. Mark Alvarado gets the grab, making the score 14-9. Bulldogs counter with a great drive, but Sam Ellis throws this ball and wishes he'd get it back. Miguel Barreras on the INT, and he gets some great yardage, takes this one to just inside the 10-yard line. Ensuing drive, Barrera flips to Matt Jackson, and he flops outside and takes it in the end zone. Rams lengthen the lead, but the Bulldogs would make a huge run late in the second, scoring twice before the halftime whistle would be blown. Cianeas Reynolds get the grab here. It would be 23-20 at half, but the Rams would turn it up in the second, scoring 21 unanswered points, beating Cruces 41-23. Rio Rancho moves on and will play the winner of Cibola El Dorado. That matchup is going on tomorrow at 1 p.m. There you have it, game of the week. Let's get into some more football Friday night action with Van Tate. Man.
All right, 4 of the last 9 big school titles have gone to the Mayfield Trojans. The Trojans hit the road for a date against a former power, the Clovis Wildcats. Both teams coming out to the field, and the visitors strike first. Kavika Johnson hitting down the field to Isaac Vance. The ball is stopped. Didn't get in the end zone, but got in the red zone. They're going to fix it because Kavika Johnson next, the touchdown run. And Mayfield going up 7-0. Kavika to Isaac Vance again. This time Vance getting close, not in yet. Then Kavika Johnson calling his own number once again for the touchdown, 35-21. Mayfield gets LaQuava in the semifinals after tonight's victory. Last year it was the Valley Vikings who knocked the Clovis Wildcats out of the playoff. The Vikings went in undefeated during the regular season before being taken out by Las Cruces. Now this year, the Vikings actually missed the playoffs. Enrique Marcelli's team struggled to a 4-5 season and just missed getting into the postseason at the end. So the question is, how will they be next year? And that's a question I need to ask this man, Enrico Marcelli.
Hey,
look,
thanks.
you just popped in
There you go, just like that. Thanks for having us, man.
Valley Vikings head coach. Now, rest of the 6A playoffs, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But first, your team, what do you have coming back, and what's the forecast for your team coming back?
We returned some guys. We returned a guy like Teton Saltis and some skilled guys, a quarterback who comes back, and some defensive linemen. So we returned about 13 guys who we think can play a little football. So we'll have to develop the rest, and there's a lot of tough teams out there. We have a tough schedule, but we feel like we got what it takes to make a run and win in our district next year and get back in the playoffs.
And we have some more video of you guys. Now, what do you think about this season as far as what was missing, and what do you think you guys could have done to possibly get in the postseason? Because you got so close.
Yeah, you know, we were close, and we just need to pull out a game or two we didn't pull out, and maybe a little bit of lack of discipline on our part. So we'll address it, and we're hoping to get better and make a run next year.
Okay, and then the speed, you guys are all right with speed and all that stuff?
Yeah, we feel like we're all right. We got enough athletes. We're a little small at linebacker. Those guys got to get a little bit bigger in the weight room, but we feel like we've got the ingredients to make a run next year. So we're excited about next year's team.
And Teton Salty is a big guy playing defensive end for you, playing a little tight end, possibly when he gets it down better, huh?
Yeah, hopefully we can get him on that side of the ball too. Yeah, he came out late and he's really come around. He's 6'6", 250, so he's got some things you can't teach, and we're excited about Teton.
Right, you definitely have some stuff to work with there, Coach. Now let's talk about the rest of the playoffs now. If you had to pick right now, they said, okay, pick the championship game in 6A, or I'm just going to go straight to the final. Who's going to be the champion?
I feel like it's going to be Rio Rancho and Mayfield, and I think like Rio Rancho's been the best team all year, so we'll see if they can continue that. There's a lot of things happen in playoff football, weather, when you throw the ball like they do, but if they can keep doing what they're doing, you got to feel like they're the favorite.
And so why do you feel like Rio Rancho, you talk about throwing the football, but their defense is just as good, don't you think, as far as being salty?
They are. This year they have really good linebackers, Ikeka Waters, Miguel Barrera's in there. They're really good on defense. They've always had the offense, so now they have some defense, and you got to feel like they're the favorite until somebody beats them.
And you guys opened up the season against them, and of course, when that game was going on, did you feel like, hey, wait a minute, this team is really good, or I mean, it's early. Could you not tell then? Because you know how sometimes teams get better as the year goes by. And
once we started playing them, we go, these guys are really good. That's a game we were going into. We felt pretty good about it, and they dominated us, and we left that game going, those guys are really good, and they were.
Right, of course. Now we got a big game tomorrow, and that's the Class 6A quarterfinals. Cibola against El Dorado, and who do you like in that one?
Well, that's going to be a great game. Cibola obviously played really well last week and beat Cleveland, but and you can't really vote against Zach Gentry, so you got to feel like Zach Gentry's going to take them and get them into that game against Rio Rancho.
All right, we caught up with Coach Charlie Dodson and Zach Gentry during practice this week to see what they had to say about their weekend matchup.
23 days, that's too long, but it is what it is. We had a bye week our last week, and then we had a bye week, so there's nothing we could do about it. But just got to try to make it positive and try to do the best we can and get a quick start. Cibola is a good team. They're talented, and they put it all together against Cleveland, so we're going to have our hands full, and 23 days off. We'll see what we get. We don't know what's going to happen.
Anything can happen in playoff football come November, so I'm not really surprised. 12 seed beat the 5 seed and everything, but Cibola's a really good team. They're extremely athletic. They've got some big guys. They have Blair Manley on the corner, so they're going to be a tough team to beat. Nobody wants to go one and done around here. I know I definitely want to go out with a bang and take this team as far as we can go, and we definitely have the goods to do it.
Okay, Coach Marcelli, starting out fast is key, right? Because 23 days off, I mean, you know about that. As far as that you need to be, when you're hot, you need to just get right back in because you've been coaching for a long time. So.
Yeah, exactly. They've had a long layoff, but they've also had some big injuries, so that gives them some time to get healthy. So Charlie will tell you it's a negative thing, but I think with the injuries they've had, it gives them a chance to regroup, and it should be a great game tomorrow.
All right. We'll have more Football Friday when we come back.